Hey guys, how's it going? Marcelo here. Have I given you enough reasons to hate me for some of the past videos I've done on this channel? Well, here are 5 more reasons. This is the top 5 games that I don't really like or care for, but everyone else does. So I already understand, I'm going to piss off a lot of people with these opinions, but they're just that, opinions. If you like these games, fine, I don't care. But I don't, and I have reasons why. That's what this video is about. So, without further ado, here we go. I'm gonna catch so much hell.
My opinion tells what I believe, even though the rest may disagree. When I state a fact, those words are true, and I'll bet I can prove it to you. Na 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 na.
Number 5. Alright, here we go. Number 5 is Mortal Kombat X. Now, I do kind of like this game, so that's why it's so high slash low slash... That's why it's number 5 on the list. Because as a time waster, it's fine, whatever. But as a game, there are issues I have with this, and I just do not care for this installment in the series. Because I do like Mortal Kombat up to a certain extent. I did kind of grow up with it like I did with Tekken, but unlike Tekken, the likeness, I guess, my likeness for this series just kind of started to dwindle around the time of the PS2 games. Again, I used to play them quite often, not as often as Tekken, but ever since, I really like the violence when it's done over the top back in the 2D games and the early 3D games. It's over the top, it's, outlandish, who cares? But somehow, in some way, they managed to make me really kind of squeamish. I don't think I've ever said that on camera before. I do get kind of squeamish with certain types of violence in movies, games, whatever the case may be, and real life, I guess. But ever since the violence got a little bit more realistic in terms of how the organs look and the way body parts rip off now and all that, I don't care for it. And that's not the sole reason why I don't like this game. There's other reasons for it being it as a game that I don't like, which I'll get into. But the violence, I know it's the name of the game, it's Mortal Kombat, and that's what Mortal Kombat's grown its, infamy on, but the way it's portrayed now, I don't care for. So that's just where that's at. But as a game itself, Mortal Kombat X has to be one of the blandest ones I've seen as of late. I know that if you go on Trash Talk on West Side Studios, around the time when we first started our first ever E3 sub-arc, it was the first episode actually, Weston got super excited because he loves Mortal Kombat. He loves that stuff. So when it comes to Mortal Kombat, we're kind of a contrast. He is all for it. I used to be, but not so much anymore. As a game, though, if you look at the picture, look at the packaging, it's super bland. It's just, look at Mortal Kombat 9's. That one looks actually, it's still behind in front of a black background, but it's more detailed. There's more stuff to it to look at. Mortal Kombat X, it's just Scorpion and a plain little white, or the logo in plain white text. There's nothing to really look at. And it's not just the box art, it's basically how most of the game kind of looks and feels. The gameplay is upgraded from Mortal Kombat 9, and they did, we went over this stuff. I'm not going to go over it too much. We went over it in link below, the Trash Talk E3 2014 sub-arc. That first episode was on MKX. But like I said before, as a time waster, you'll see me eventually play it on one channel or another with Wes at some point. Or maybe even with other people, I don't know. But it clearly won't be my decision at this point, now that you know this, that I'll be the one choosing that game to play for whatever we play it on. But it's just other things like the crypt didn't really need to be a full-on mode, I guess, in terms of like some kind of exploration weird. It's a side mode. Why would you want to... It sounds like a nitpick. I'm not really sure. But something about it just doesn't settle with me. I just don't really care for it. The music is barely non-existent, not really there. Whatever music there is, I don't remember. It's clearly forgettable. Some of the choices for the characters, I mean, with the bullshit DLC stuff too, that's something I wanted to mention. That kind of thing just was... I don't know what made them think to do that, and I really wish they didn't do that, but we're getting Kombat Pack 2. Bo Raicho's back. Fucking hate Bo Raicho. I swear to God. Anyway, that's just a me thing, though. That's just something I don't care for. Besides that, I've rambled on for long enough. Number 5 goes to MKX because I still kind of like it, but I don't care for it at the same time. It's weird, but that's why it's at number 5. Number 4. Number 4 goes to Clover on the N64. This one's a fun one. Jeremiah, you already know. Go on, again, another link, VidGames FTW, our Let's Play channel. And that was his debut on the Let's Play channel. We played Clover. I am adding this to the list because I found out this game got good reviews. I don't know how, because it looks like shit, it plays like shit, the plot is shit, the graphics are gross to look at. What does this game have going for it? Pretty much nothing at that point. The music drones on, that's not memorable either. The characters you can't get attached to. You know, I have no clue. Like, I have no clue. I just have no clue. But somehow, this game has a fan base. I've looked online at review scores and all that, that IGN and other people like that have given it, and while the PS1 version is panned just all across the board from fans and critics alike, the N64 version is the one that did better. And I own the N64 version, I don't own the PS1 version, I do not plan to own the PS1 version. Because I've seen gameplay. It looks like more shit. Not just like shit and the good one and the N64 one's good. It's like shit that was cloned from other shit. That's really it. I don't know. This game is one of the first ones ever just by playing it to give me a migraine. I got frustrated at where to go, the draw distance sucks, the conveyance is just all over the place. This game is just not good. Not in my opinion anyway. It's not a good game. But there's a fan base. So that's why it's on this list. That's why it's at number 4. Number 3. I thought I was done talking about it. This should be one of the last, very, very last times I talk about this game, because I'm just done at this point. Number 3 goes to Super Smash Bros. 4 on the Wii U and 3DS. They didn't even... Right when I saw that they weren't even going to change the title, when I first saw it said Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, I thought, oh, okay, that's the provisionary title. You know, Mario 3D Land was just called Super Mario. Yoshi's Woolly World was just called Yarn Yoshi. So, actually, that one I kind of liked. I liked Yarn Yoshi as a title. Anyway, so Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and for 3DS, I was like, oh, well, obviously that's a provisionary name. They're going to give it something else later, right? Well, they didn't actually reveal that name until, like, a month before the game came out, and I was like, oh, right? They're going to change it. They didn't change it. And that kind of right there, it's a small thing. It's a small thing, but it kind of clued me into the wild ride experience-wise I was going to have with this game, because I was already pissed off at the fact that we got leaked a lot of the shit, the last few newcomers and all that, and just all their decisions, and I've talked about it over and over, so again, another link to one of my many, many videos. It's one of the most talked about games on Trash Talk. It's made its way through the arcs of Trash Talk somehow, and we're not going to mention it on Trash Talk like ever again. But just from a lot of the character choices, from the clone characters getting their own slots, and we found out the reason. Here, Link. Actually, just screw it right here. Link. Did you know gaming? Xander Mobus himself, the Smash announcer for that game, was the voiceover for this video, said, yeah, so the reason that, he doesn't talk about that, the reason that, the clone characters have their own slots is because we were pressed for time. We needed more characters. And I was like, oh! That's lazy. Just so many bad choices, and no one's really seeing them as that. No one's really taking in the fact that We could have gotten so much more variety, and like I've said before, time and time again, variety is the main word that plagues this game for some reason. There's not much of it. As much as there seems to be, there really in the long run isn't that much variety. They just did what they could for some of the new things that Smash hasn't really seen in its series before, but then cloned a lot of other things, be it characters, be it Final Smashes, be it certain people's stages, Cloud, and it doesn't feel like the next Smash after Brawl. It just feels like a fan game that Nintendo took the rights to and were like, well, we're gonna finish this game for you, and that's the new Smash. And it doesn't really, it's lazy, and I don't like it. So that's why it's at number 3. Number 2. Alright, number 2 and number 1, I didn't know which game to put in which one, so this is just how it turned out because I didn't want Skylanders Spyro's Adventure to take the, front and center stage yet again as number 1. So number 1 is going to be surprising to you guys probably, but Skylanders, I have gone over it so many times. You just saw in the branding video, there we go, branding versus content. And I still do have, whether or not it comes out before this one, dated the video, but I have yet to record another toy-based game discussion video. It's not really much of a secret, I mentioned it in the branding video. So that's coming. That will go into much more detail as to why I don't like Skylanders. But the Cliff Note version for this video, why it's at number 2, is because they fucked up the Spyro character. Not the franchise. I'm not, like I said before, one of those people to go, oh, it ruined my childhood and it's destroyed. It's not destroyed. I've got the other games, I got the older games, the Insomniac trilogy, it's all fine and good. But this game just takes the character of Spyro and, Gremlin fight him. They turned him so gross. I don't like this design. Whoever designed this, if you end up watching this, whoever shares this, if there's like a chain of people who share this that gets to the person who designed this, why? What was wrong with the older design and just going off the older design? You made him look like a goddamn gremlin! He looks so gross! Oh, god damn it. From that alone, because that was the first thing I heard of from Skylanders before it actually came out, I saw his redesign in a magazine and I was like, oh, what the fuck did they do to his design? So from there I knew it's gonna go downhill. I don't know, toy-based and this look spells disaster already in terms of the fans like us, because hey, look what it's created. Disney Infinity, Lego Dimensions. There's one called Playmation. I don't know what the fuck that is, but Playmation is a thing. And even Ninja Turtles. I saw a commercial at a hotel once for a Ninja Turtles game that uses toys, and I was like, oh, this is a thing now, so okay, whatever. But as a game, as a franchise as it became, Skylanders just does not do anything for me. As a game, it's boring, it's not too intuitive, and it's all based around the goddamn gimmick of these goddamn toys. So, ugly toys, at least he's ugly, so I don't want to get into a huge ass rant, but that's why Skylanders is at number 2. And then number 1, it's going to surprise you guys, it's going to piss you guys off, but it needs to be said, because I don't think I've said this before on camera, but I've had many conversations. So here we go with number 1. And the number 1 game I don't really like, but everyone else does, is the number 1. Okay, keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. And like I said in a bunch of other videos, any negative comments and anything against towards me, attacking me, in terms of, well, fuck you, you're wrong, go suck a dick, I hate you, comments are going off. The number 1 game I don't really like, but everyone else does, is Super Mario 64. Hold on. Just wait. I did like this game, but I grew out of it because I kept playing it over and over, and not that I ever really beat it, so there's number 1 as to like, oh shit, well, as I beat Sunshine, Galaxy 1 and 2, the other platformers onward. Mario 64 I never really beat all the way through, but I didn't really have an incentive to beat it after some time. After really looking at it as a game and analyzing it, I was like, well, it doesn't look good even for when it came out. It was there to compete with Sonic Adventure and Crash Bandicoot, so even Crash looks better, you know, Crash does look better, and even to an extent, for the aesthetics being, I don't care about that either, but Sonic Adventure actually kind of looks better than Mario 64. I don't know, there was just this one particular time where I revisited this game, and I just took a good look at what I was playing, and I was like, okay, and I started questioning the choices and the level design and all that kind of stuff, and I just kind of was like, this game doesn't have much appeal now. It doesn't stand up to me, in my opinion. So I was like, well, I'm not playing this game anymore. I just fell out of it. I don't know. There are a ton of other Mario games that I've played. One of the first games, the first Mario game I ever played was Mario Sunshine, and that may end up on another list, maybe one that contrasts to this one, that no one really likes. But I was like, well, this is a good game. But I go back to Mario 64, and the thing is this. The thing is this. People say that of the 3D Mario games, because the 2D Mario games are their own entity, the 3D games are its own entity. Everyone says that Mario 64 is the best. And I'm over here like, it doesn't look good. It doesn't play that good because of the controller and just the controls in general. The progression is weird. I know it set the standard for how Mario progression in Mario games are nowadays for the 3D games. I don't know. There's just not a lot to like anymore about this game. I have no clue. But the thing is that no one will see it any other way. That's just the thing. The die-hard Nintendo, I hate using this term, fanboys say, no, this game is good and you're fucking wrong, and those are the kinds of people I don't want to comment in this video. But I was like, they compare this game to Crash. They compare this game to some of the other Sonic games, which I don't care for Sonic Adventure either. I never played it, but it doesn't look appealing. Save that for another time, though. And that's really the main thing. The main thing is that Mario 64 came out in '96, just 1 month after Crash Bandicoot. So right then and there, it plays into something that I like, and then people started comparing the two games, and because it's Mario, like I said in the branding video, who's gonna go to what? When you're sitting there and you're both a fan of Nintendo and you're a fan of PlayStation, because, or at least you're about to be, because it's an up and growing thing, and maybe you end up getting attached to that, but even still, which would you go for? Would you go for the new kid on the block, or the one that everyone knows? And I felt that, even though, again, Crash did superior, did very well, still, Mario grew that huge fan base for that game, and they're the ones that are just going to be like, you know, nitpicking the other 3D platformers of the era and of the time and of the decade, and that's just really it. When you think of 90s platformers, Mario 64 is always up there, and I just wouldn't put that game on that pedestal. I think Crash belongs there. So, I don't know. I just fell out of it. I don't really care for it anymore. Doesn't really mean I'll never play it again, but like Mortal Kombat X, it's not going to be my decision to pick that game to play for, be it a channel, be it off camera, just with a friend. Does that mean we'll never return to it on vid games? Jeremiah, we will, and I will not bitch about anything. You know, I can have fun with it still, just being like, it's a Mario game, but I'm not going to hold it to any kind of high standards. That's just the thing. I don't hold it to any high standards because I don't think it deserves that. A high standard. It stands well today. It's one of the best platformers to ever hit the market. I don't think so. I just personally do not think so. If you think so, fine. But as long as you can see why I don't, we'll get along. But if you start bitching at me and saying, well, fuck you, you're wrong, I don't like Crash Bandicoot, how about that, huh? Smartass, I think Mario 64 is the best, and Crash sucks. I'm not going to want to have anything to do with you, because you're being a dick at that point. So, if we could all get along, I don't care for it, and I used to like it. I just fell out of it. So that's it, and that's my number one. Sorry, but it is. So that's my top 5 list, and I just kind of teased it earlier. I'm going to have a list of the top 5 games that I like that no one else does, so look out for that soon. Besides that, that's my list. Again, I'm sorry if I pissed anyone off, but if we can talk about why we like and don't like these games in the comments in a nice, concise, analytical manner, professional manner, good. I'll be willing to debate with you about opinions and shit down below. Besides that though, look forward to that other top 5 video, look forward to other top 5s, top 10s, other videos in the future, and with that being said, I'm Marcelo, hopefully you're not too mad at me, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.